keep it going. I'm kinda like I'm reading orders. Deadpool, got a fight and a full of high hopes. Look at my flow, DLM, man, keep it liquid, it's never not so. Huddle like, whoa, talking about slippers, bro, I don't even know that hoe. Easy in this pizza, they get fees, I let it bake inside the vault until the cheese is done. Fools are paying me like I don't even go to beach, I'd rather be here on the feet or something. Best believe it's decent, wavy man, I see sick, chillin' in the deep end. Every week and weekend, see me, you can depend on it, cause I mean it. Coming up, you can even find a way to flood it up. You done enough, 10% stimulate and run it up. Point system looking like a flying where they won't miss a solid contribution. Could've pointed out enough. I met up with Matt, had a really good chat. He's telling me bet up your army does laps. That orbit does this meteor's headed when no one's expecting it. We watching it happen, hey. In a pool of Meteora, watch me swim, swap a bed, I just keep it going. I'm kinda like I'm reading orders. Deadpool, got a fight and a full of high hopes. Look at my flow, DLM, man, keep it liquid, it's never not so. Huddle like, whoa, talking about slippers, bro, I don't even know that hoe. Easy in this pizza, they get fees, I let it bake and stop the ball until the cheese is done. Fools paying me like I don't even go to the beach, never be here on the beer song.
GMet.
Hope everybody's having a great day today.
I'm just posting a tweet. Let's go.
Let's
go. Troll today.
Here we are.
Yeah, what do you have for us today, heavymetalcook?
Oh, well, we've got quite an agenda here, and I think this is going to be a good call today. Some cool new product improvements. I'm really excited about. Of course, the feed printer's relief fund. There's that's amazing. Of course, Bootcamp and some important open conversations today.
Yeah. GM everybody. I think today's community talk will be quite special. We're gonna go through some stuff with heavymetalcook, not like a normal community talk. And then Zhen will come on and join us for the second half to have like an open conversation about a lot of the concerns people have been bringing up. So make sure you are logged in on Twitter and YouTube. Make sure you are able to post comments on the stream or on Twitter. Just everyone say hi right now in the channel so that we can make sure that we can see everyone. Or like see, just test that you can post comments. Because it will come in very useful later in the second half. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started with some product improvements. I'll just quickly share about some improvements that we've made over the past few days. We have a new improved search UI. I think most of us will use like Meteora AG's website like a lot. You run into this issue where you're looking for a dynamic DRMM pool, but you'll have the dynamic AMM page open and you can't find the pool you're looking for. So right now we have this new like universal search bar that allows you to like access any token, any pool from one search bar. So I think the goal is to like simplify the UX, where like you just have to paste the token address that you're interested in and you can see all the options. HMC, what do you think of this change? You're muted. Sorry, HMC.
It helps if you unmute yourself, right? I think it's really cool, man. To me that's great. Being able to find any pool across anything, to me that's outstanding. I love it. Really like that functionality there.
Yeah, and some simple UX changes. Sweet. And yeah, another quick change is that we are using a new wallet connect adapter. It's currently live on edge.meteora.ag. This wallet adapter allows us to access social logins as well as Jupyter Mobile. So we're currently testing it out on Edge, and if this is something you're interested in, you can try it out on edge.meteora.ag. And then hopefully this will be part of like bringing like more users to Meteora. Then you can log in with social logins via Realm, or you can use Jupyter Mobile. You can use Jupyter Mobile with the computer, so you have the phone app. You can stand on the screen if I remember correctly. So it's quite cool.
Yeah, and just really quick context. Anybody who's not familiar with Edge .meteora.ag, that's like the test version. Everything works. Your wallet, your positions, all of that, it works the same as regular as app. This is just the test bed. Jupyter does the same thing, but that's where new features are tested before they go to the full version.
Yep, it lets us ship faster and deploy things, and yet people play around with it. So we like having it, and Meteora follows Jupiter as well to do it. So, and yeah, I think for this part it's quite exciting. I'll let Mario or HMC tell us more about the new LP Army page.
Hey, Mario.
Yeah. Hey guys. We have set this up to highlight some of our initiatives, such as boot camps. I like the new direction that we're taking with the LP Army. We are trying to, as advanced users, we're trying to give back to the community as much as we can. First part of that are our boot camps led by heavymetalcook. We have so many instructors that are helping, educate people. And at the moment, we're working on keeping the people in the loop afterwards. So when they graduate bootcamp, we want them to stay with us instead of going to third-party servers. So we want to keep them here. How we do that is our LP Army Alpha sessions hosted by Yusuf. We have international ones as well. I think Gosha, Sats Monkeys doing the French ones. So we have some initiatives going that way. We also have quite a bit of community tools that we wanted to highlight. You can see that by yourself if you go to lparmy.meteora.ag. You can see our educators who are creating some of the really good content, and you can see the sub communities who are really helping to grow the LP Army. So I think this page really highlights what we've been doing.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of our future initiatives and plans will revolve around the LP Army, helping LP Army do more things. And it's nice to have a nice homepage for everyone to go and know exactly what LP Army is with one click. We also announced the new Discord and new Twitter last week, and this is going to be a constant effort to drive this forward. So we appreciate Mario, HMC, the team who built the UI, and every member of the LP Army driving this forward, driving Meteora forward. Appreciate all of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and yeah, I think we had some pretty exciting news just now. We distributed the free printers relief to everyone who got affected by the free printers fraud. Mia, you want to come on and share with us some more information?
Yep. Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Mir, and it's been an interesting week, and one of the key things of this week is being able to finally process all of the wallets that were submitted for the fee printers relief fund. So maybe just to give a bit of context as to why we did this in the first place is sometime last year, maybe in about October or November, there was this community of LPs called the fee printers, and it was led by this individual called Moneybags or Mint. He went by a couple of aliases, but he then created his own kind of community server, and he brought a lot of new and earnest LPs who were really interested in learning the new opportunities, the new strategies with the DLMM. And in late last year in December, he actually he launched a couple of NFT collections, and he proceeded to entirely just rock his community. And us as an LP Army, it goes completely against what the community stands for, and that's why the team has stepped forward to provide a bunch of relief packages for the users who are affected by the incident. So across the past few weeks, the past month or so, a number of moderators as well as some of the team members have actually worked very, very hard to process all of these wallets and to check them with on-chain data and to make sure that all of the data checks out. And today we finally processed all of the submitted wallets, and for all of the eligible wallets, we have proceeded to provide some sort of relief package for them. And hopefully it has been very helpful to you guys, especially when the market has been fairly uncertain. And yeah, this is only because we love the LP Army very much, and you guys, this is how important you guys are to us. And also just a reminder to you guys, learning how to LP on the DLMM is completely free, and it will always be. So we have a bunch of experts on the DLMM. We've got our LP bootcamp instructors. We've got members from the Goose DAO who have been LPing for a really long time, and these people, they're actively sharing their strategies and their opportunities on a day-to-day basis, completely with no cost. So please be careful if you're new to LPing and somebody tells you, oh, I have a private server for you, or they're offering some kind of revenue sharing mechanism or something like that. Practice caution, and do your own research and stuff like that, and be careful with whoever's trying to do those sort of things. So yeah. Oh, and special shout out to Gosha and Alex, by the way, for spending the late nights with me, churning through all of the submitted wallets. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just yelling
Gonna
at
head
more
out.
people before the time to come and attend somebody talk. Thanks Mia for hopping on. I think it was nice to see everyone like saying, "Yay, we got some soul from the LP Army, the free printers." I saw a few tweets where they were like, "Why the hell did I get 15 soul out of nowhere?" And it's like one guy was like tweeting about it, like, "Where the hell did this money come from?" And they realized that it's the LP, it's the free printers we give. So
Exactly.
we appreciate
It
you,
is.
Joshua, and Alex. But sorry, go on.
Thank you. No, I was just saying it is a really good boost of confidence, especially in this market. So, yeah, thank you for having me.
Sweet. Thanks, Mia. Yeah, I think we've reached the HMC specialty part where he was talked about the bootcamp for March.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, bootcamp number 13, and that's the English version, is this weekend, 15th and 16th, 2:30 to 4:30 UTC, whatever that translates into you. And it's on the Discord. All these links that you see on the screen there, everything you need is going to be right there. You don't have to sign up. You just show up, and it'll be on StreamYard, it'll be on X, it'll be on YouTube, and say, hey, HMC, I can't make it to the live session. Hey, that's not a problem. That's not a problem at all, because they're recorded and you can watch. You have an entire week to watch these. You'll have until 4 p.m. UTC on Sunday, March 23rd, to complete the recordings and complete the tasks in both days. And if you want to graduate, you have to complete both days, day 1 and day 2. So pay attention, follow along, and make that happen. We've got about 15,000 LP Army privates, and we're looking to grow that even more. And we're looking at growing Bootcamp, more languages, and just grow. We love it. Bootcamp, it's meant to help you get started. It's not the end all be all, but it's going to get you started with from the beginning up into a little bit more advanced, and hand you the tools for you to be able to learn even more and improve your LP game. And I mean, to me, it's my passion. So if you haven't done it before, go out and try it. I'm changing up. I'm actually revamping the boot camp again. Part of that is due to changes that have been happening, and also from feedback from people, like, we need to learn more about this, or this needs more clarity. So I take that feedback and I'm incorporating that into the new boot camp. So that's what we're doing. That's the update.
Amazing. 15,000 people. Are those everyone who finished the bootcamp and passed it? Is that how you quantify 15,000?
Yep.
Fuck,
15,000 LP Army privates. Yep.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The March bootcamp was gonna be a special one. House. I'm gonna make sure that I attend, Zen attend, and anyone else in the team who has not attend, I'll make sure they attend the March bootcamp. So
Well, hopefully y'all can pass.
hopefully some of us will pass and we'll graduate with the rest of the community members who pass from this batch. And it'll be amazing. But really, I think big shout out to HMC for doing the boot camps. I think there's so many amazing initiatives going on around the LP army, and I'm looking forward to like seeing them grow. And yeah, Zen is worried about passing. I see Ben Yu as well is gonna be part of it, and we're gonna do I'm gonna make the team like buy dinner for everyone else who passes. So if Zen fails, I'm gonna make sure he buys the rest of the team dinner or something, and post a photo. But yeah, I think we are all very excited for March bootcamp, and thanks a lot HMC.
Yep.
Cheers. Yeah. Okay, guys. So we have reached the fun part or the open conversation part of this community call. I think now Zen is gonna join us to start addressing the concerns that everybody has been bringing up over the past few weeks, and we also want to take this opportunity to like introduce Zen and the team more to the community and like let you guys know like what we think and how are we thinking of things early in advance. So really looking forward to this session, and I wanted to shout out to everybody again. Please leave comments to us in the YouTube or Twitter. This is an open conversation. This isn't a one-way sharing. So please tell us what you think, and then for HMC and everyone else on this call, please also hop on whenever you have something to add. Without further ado, Zen, you wanna hop on? And he's also muted.
I'm muted, yes.
GM.
GM. Thanks,
G-Man.
Soju. Thank you, HMC. Yeah, thanks for the wonderful beginning part of the session. Yeah, so maybe I can start off by introducing myself again, right? So I think for those who don't know me yet, right, I'm Zhen, right? I'm one of the co-founders and the lead here at Meteora, right? So actually I've been here since day one, right? So I've been building, iterating, and working with the team, right, to really push this project forward. Right? So before I start, I also just want to iterate the fact what Soju mentioned, right, is that we don't want to make this just like an update call, right? And we really want to use this opportunity to really kickstart some form of discussion, right? So in the next few slides, right, what I'm going to do is really to go through some of the key concerns from the community, right? Our thoughts on how to really move forward, right? And I think most importantly is also to make sure that we're all aligned, right, on what's next. Okay. So can I move to the next slide? Oh, thanks. Okay, cool. So before we really dive into the heavy stuff, right? So I just want to lay out what's really important to me, right? So these are the things that really guide how I make decisions, right? And how I approach challenges and how I really want to work with you guys moving forward, right? So I think the first thing is really about conversations and transparency, right? So I don't want us to be, one of those projects where problems get brushed under the rug, right? Or where only a few people know what's actually going on, right? So if something isn't working, right, I really want to hear about it, right? And if you have concerns, I think the team, right, also wants to figure them out together with the community, right? But one caveat is that doesn't mean we always agree, right? So, but I'd rather have these hard conversations, right, than let the concerns go unheard, right? So in this period of time, I would love to hear more, right, from you guys, right? Like what could be more transparent, like what's on your mind, what's frustrating you. So love to hear more from you guys about that. Okay. Second thing is really about decisions, right? How do we actually make decisions and work through issues together, right? So I think the best decisions happen when we really hash things out together, right? As a team, together with the community, right? And I really don't want to make calls in a vacuum itself, right? So if there's really a tough call to be made, I want to make sure that at least, right, the people who are affected, right, or the stakeholders, the community, understand the why behind it, right? Even if you don't really love the decision, right? So and look, we don't always get things right? But what matters most is when things go, haywire or go sideways, right? We can all figure it out together instead of finger pointing. Okay. And last but not least is I'm a product person at heart, right? So for any projects or any team that I join, right, I always prioritize for product first, right? Product first. And I think I mentioned a few times in my previous post, right, is that for now, our focus is really on creating world-class liquidity systems for LPs and launchpads, right? So our job is not really just to build super cool stuff like fancy cool stuff, right? But I think it's also important for us to focus on building things that actually make life easier for LPs and launchpads, right? So one key thing is that every decision we make, right, must be able to answer this question, right? Does it really actually improve the experience for the people using it, right? And if you guys see that we are not really focusing on the right things, also do let us know, right? So at the core of things, right, I want us to have open conversations moving forward, right? We want to work through decisions together and always put the product first. So I think if we can really do that, we'll be in a good spot. Okay. Yeah. So yes, okay, let's start by acknowledging this, right? So I want to say that we hear you guys, right? And we have been listening, right? In fact, for the past few weeks, right, we've seen a lot of conversations around very key areas of the project, both in the community and behind the scenes, right? We know there are real concerns and we want to acknowledge them directly before diving into how we plan to move forward. Okay, so this here is just a few of the things that we have seen, right, being raised, right, quite often, right, in the community. The first one we are hearing is that where's Meteora going, right? What's the long-term plan? And there are uncertainty about priorities, right? Should we be focusing on LPs, launchpads, or something else, right? A lot of people want to know, we get a clearer picture of what the roadmap looks like, right, beyond just the next few months, right? The second point is like when met, right? TG, when met, right? So that's one thing that we hear very often, right? When is the TG happening, right? So I can understand, right? Some of you probably are a bit frustrated, right? The lack of concrete timelines, right, as well, and also concerns about whether we are delaying TG for strategic reasons or if there are other blockers, right? We also heard some concerns about fairness, right? If the TG happens later, how do we ensure like long-term contributors are awarded or rewarded properly? The third thing is about the stimulus plan, right? So I think Ben Chow actually created this stimulus plan quite a while ago, right? To actually reward people who really actively LP, right? But I think it has been a while since that stimulus plan has been like going on. I mean, that has been put up, right, on the proposal page, and some LPs might feel like they'll be providing liquidity for a long time without really clear rewards, right? And we have also seen concerns about whether the current point system is fair, right? Especially when the launch boost factors are still in play, right? Because we know that launch boosts generate a lot of fees, right? And some LPs could feel that this could create an imbalance in rewards compared to standard liquid provisions, right? And last but not least, the M3 token. Yeah. So we hear you guys. Okay. So I know a lot of you guys have really backed the M3, right? Because you really believe in what we're building, right? And there's been a lot of uncertainty around where it stands in the broader things of things, right? So, and we know that some of the holders felt like they were left in a tough spot, right? After the original creators move on. And there have been a lot of discussions on what, if anything, Meteora should do, right, to support those who held M3 through all this, right? So I just want to close this slide by saying that we hear you on all these things. These are real concerns and we're not brushing them aside, right? So the next few slides, I want to just touch a little bit on our initial thinking, right, and ideas, right, on how we can address that, right, and what's next.
Yeah, so, just to add a few sentences, sorry, then like all these concerns are across Discord, Meteora's Discord, LP Army Discord, Twitter. Like the team, like me, Zhen, and a lot of us, like we actually spend a lot of time reading these concerns and trying to form a very like long list of concerns to tackle them. We know that the concerns are also not exhaustive, and we want to encourage all you guys to like keep telling us your concerns. Tell us in Discord, message me on Twitter, do whatever you want to get the concerns to us, and we really will work very hard to hear them all out and tackle them. But without further ado, let's start tackling them. Starting off with talking about Meteora's direction.
Yeah. Yep. So, so let me just start off by saying that our focus has always been on building liquidity systems that work, right, for both LPs and for launchpads. So in our previous post, we did mention about our focus on the 3 LPs, right? Liquidity systems for LPs and launchpads, right? And I think that's what really sets us apart, right? And that's what we are doubling down on, right? So everything we are doing is about making it easier and more profitable for LPs while making Meteora the go-to infrastructure for launchpads. Okay. So the first point is really making LP profitable, right? Specifically on BLMM, right? So we know that LPs are the foundation of everything we're building, right? So if they're not making money, then nothing else really matters, right? So our goal is really simple, right? Really providing liquidity on Meteora as profitable, seamless, and low risk as possible, right? And we are actively improving how our pools perform by, optimizing the LP returns and ensuring that LPs get the best possible user experience on our platform. Okay, so that's for LP. Secondly, is really the launchpads. So we mentioned quite a few times that now we are actually chasing the launchpad game, right? Because we know that the more launchpads we integrate, the more launch puts we power, and the more organic volume flows into Meteora, right? So our goal is really to become the default liquidity engine, right? That launchpads rely on to run their token launches, right? So you can think of it like this is not really just purely about integrations, but it's about creating this thing what I call the flywheel, right? That benefits everyone. So more launchpads, more volume means more LP, and basically a stronger ecosystem overall. Okay.
Yeah, more tokens, more opportunity to DRMM. Yeah.
Yes, correct, exactly. So remember the flywheel thing, yeah. And last but not least, we can never not mention the LP army, right? Because I feel that Meteora is not just a product, right? It's a movement. It's a bit cliche to say that, but it's true, right? It's a movement, right? And I think LP army is the center of it, right? So we're going to keep supporting LPs through more bootcamps, educational initiatives, and hands-on programs to really help the LPs get the most out of the ecosystem. Yeah. And so if you're part of the LP army, we really want to hear from you, right? What do you need more of? How can we help you succeed, right?
Yeah, I'd like to add on something real quick again, as like on the providing the tech side, the cool thing about Meteora is that we built out this very impressive suite of like tools and features that launchpads are very interested in. So one thing that we are currently doing, or I'm currently doing, is I'm taking a lot of calls with them, sort of like sharing them the technology we have built and then letting them use it. And so far the appetite for that is quite strong, so we will be doubling down our efforts there. And on the LP army note is that like a lot of us came to DeFi for this idea of retail liquidity. We had this idea where if everyone provide liquidity on chain and everyone traded on chain, we'll have this amazing ecosystem of retail buying from retail people trading retail traded tokens from retail liquidity pools. And I've been in DeFi for like 4 years, and I can say quite confidently that Meteora and LP Army is the first time I see like the power of providing liquidity really returning to retail, where we retail members like HMC, Goose DAO, and the rest of the LP Army is coming here, providing liquidity, facilitating trading to the rest of the whole of Solana, and coming out profitable or happy, and the traders are also happy. So I'm super bullish, and I'm really excited to push this forward with everyone here. So thanks HMC and thanks to the rest of the LP army, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, so I think the first key thing that we want to really touch on is the roadmap to the MET token. Okay, so I know a lot of people are waiting for updates on when TG, right? I mean, I see in the chat earlier a few already when TG, right? But I just want to be clear, right? We are not about setting an arbitrary date, right? Because I really do not want to rush this just to check a box, right? Instead, we want to follow a simple principle, right? And this is, I mean, talking to Ben Chow for so long, right? I mean, this is also what he really got for, right? To be number one of Solana, right? And I think when we've truly won the launchpad game, that's when we can start to think about moving forward with the plan of launching MET token, right? So I just want to share a little bit about what this number one means, right? So I know we are only one of the top players, right? But we are being close, we are close, right? But I think being close isn't enough, right? We need to own the DEX market, right? This means dominating the liquidity, right? Dominating organic volume and being the clear go-to choice for LPs and projects, right? So you know that any project, anyone who wants to create a pool, there's no option, right? It's Meteora or nothing else, right? Okay. And TG to me is not so I also want to share my perspective, right? So TG is not like a endpoint, right? It's not a lifeline, right? But to me, it's like a launch pad by itself, right? because we really want to make sure that when we launch, right, it's from a place of greatness, right, of great strength, right, and it's not just okay, let's just launch it, right. So that's why it's a bit challenging for us to really put a very specific date, right, because we really want to make sure that when we launch, right, we are in a very strong position. Okay. So second point is really about winning the launchpad game, right? So like I mentioned just now, right, winning launchpad is like there's a flywheel effect that more launchpads using our tech means more launch pools and more organic volume and gives us a much stronger position in the market, right? So that's why we are doubling down on making Meteora the preferred liquidity systems for all major launchpads, right? So you see that a lot of efforts now is really building mechanisms that can really help launchpads easily integrate and to have all the mechanisms ready for them to launch to help them win, right? Their launch games on launchpads itself. So once we see that we are indispensable to launchpads, right, then we can know that we have cemented our position as the dominant player of Solana, right? So we'll know so once we really integrate with all the major launchpads, right, and we start to see a very constant flow of launches and volume coming in, then we know that we are ready, we're there. Okay. And last but not least, I also want to touch upon this, right? I think TG should be market dependent, right? So even once we hit our goals, we still need to read the market, right? We won't force a launch if conditions aren't right? Because this is not about launching, right? It's about sustainable growth post TG, right? So I urge everybody to be patient with us because we know that doing it right is more important than doing it like quickly, right, or fast. Okay. So to end off this part, I want to say that we are really close, right? And kudos to all the team, Ben, the LP army, all the leads, right, for really doing a fantastic job to bring us to where we are today, right? But I think the job isn't completely done yet, right? We need to lock in number one, right? Really win the launchpad game and make sure that we are launching under the best possible conditions. So, and then when the moment comes, it'll be quite obvious to everybody why we waited so long, because we'll be in a position to take over, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's quite exciting. I think right now there's a very big opportunity on Solana to sort of cement the launchpad, cement us as a go-to place. So let's get to it. Next. Yeah, before we start to go on to like the next section, I just want to say one more time that like everything we're about to say is ideas and early discussions. As Zhen said earlier on, like we want to involve the community early on what we're thinking. That's why we're doing this session, and we really want feedback. Yeah, anything to add? Sorry, Zhen.
No. Yeah, you're right. So these are discussion points, right? Not 100% set in stone yet, but we want to share how we think about stuff, our perspective, and hopefully that forms the basis, right, for discussions to happen. So as you say, like, some things might change, right, and you might have disagreement or not. So I want this session to be like the starting point for all these discussions.
Yeah. So just to take note before I over the next slide, because this is the warning.
Yeah.
What you're about to see is experimental and up in the air, but that's what we are here for. So let's go. If it works, there you go.
Okay, so let's start off by talking about the LP stimulus, right? So I want to acknowledge something, right, important, right? So I know a lot of you guys have been LPing with us for like more than a year, right, or many years, right? And it's all through very uncertain times, right, without a guaranteed timeline for TG, right? And it's not easy, right? And I really appreciate the trust you place in us. So we heard your concerns, and we want to acknowledge and appreciate you guys by adjusting the stimulus, right, from 10% to 15%, right? So as you know, we have been using a point system to reward LPs, right? But we know that without a clear TG timeline, some of you might felt that, I mean, probably not everyone, but there might some sentiments that we are trying to farm, right? But without real end goal, right? But obviously, I want to.
Sorry, hold on. Zen, can you HMC? Can you hear Zen? Is it just me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, it's me. Go on, Zen. I need to fix my audio, Brad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I was saying that our first plan, right, is to really increase the LP stimulus allocation from 10 to 50%, right, as a way to appreciate those who have stuck around and ensure rewards are more meaningful, right? So just want to highlight that this is not a token gesture. Like it's for me, it's really a realignment to make sure that those who have helped us get here benefit appropriately. Okay. So the first thing is really the 10 to 15%, right? Secondly, is that we also want to add this another fixed allocation category, right, in the stimulus plan, right? Because we think that beyond just rewarding liquidity volume, right, we also want to reward the right kind of participation, right? So this means introducing the fixed allocation for key community members, including maybe like LP Army members, those who have provided long-term liquidity, beta testers of the LMM, who have helped us to refine the system, right? Basically, groups that have played a huge role in shaping Meteora, and we want to make sure that they get their fair share. Okay. And then the third part is that, yeah, as I mentioned, like some people have concerns whether like having the launch pools included in this stimulus package would dilute or make it an unfair playing ground, right? Because launch pools actually earn a lot of fees, right? So the points will be inappropriately like awarded to the launch pools. So we heard you, right? So what we are really thinking of, right, planning, suggesting is that we'll introduce a completely separate 3% additional allocation just for launch pools and launch pads, right? And the reason why I do that is because, as I mentioned, launch pads are the major growth engine for Meteora, as we mentioned just now, right? And the stronger our pools, the more organic volume flows in the system, right? And then this, on the other hand, right, having this 3% as a separate thing will also make sure that the regular LPs, right, on the standard DLMM and the standard DAMM will not be penalized for LPing or do not really have to compete, right, with the LP pools or the launch pools. They're actually generating a lot more fees, right? So this is a bigger part of the strategy to make sure that when we reach TG, we are not just rewarding LPs, we're setting up to benefit from a stronger ecosystem also. Yeah. Okay. So maybe at this point, maybe you can pause for a bit.
Yeah, sorry for cutting off, but yeah, we want to hear questions from you guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree what you're doing? Do you guys have any concerns? Stuff like that. Just see us in the channel. Yes, please go ahead, Seb.
Seb has a question,
yeah. Will you still do a schedule of 1% per month on MET? What do you think, Zhen?
Schedule 1% per month of MET. Can you provide more context for this? Like, what's the scheduling? Or probably don't have much context about this.
I mean, I didn't know that was part of the plan, so
yeah.
Sure
I think it was a suggestion early on to ensure that the earlier liquidity providers will get more tokens because 1% of MET will be distributed, but the liquidity providers are smaller, just to ensure that people support it more earlier. I think we will look at it. The LP stimulus plan currently already includes a multiplier, which already favors the earlier depositor. So I'm not so sure that we need two ways to incentivize earlier like depositors, but we can discuss further in detail. But definitely hear Sasi out that there's this idea where we can do 1% per month and that will reward earlier providers more, which is generally yeah. I think
the key thing to understand is the context for this, right? So if the goal is to really try to reward early OGs, then we just have to make sure that the proposal that we're going to come out with, right, the details actually cater to that. So that's why Soju mentioned we have some sort of multiplier already, right, that actually does that. But if that is also something that we'd love to hear feedback from, to see whether is it enough, right? You think there's a better way to do that? Yeah.
Sounds good. Can we bring up Seb's question? But basically, he's asking about the Bootcamp bonus system and how will that potentially yield for Meteora?
Good question, right? We have to think about that because that is actually something that requires extremely lot of resources, right, for us to actually go through all the applicants, right, or not? Because I've been sitting with the Jupiter team as well to go through the Bootcamp stuff, so I can understand the amount of work and effort and the time it requires. I'm not saying no, but I'm just saying that it's something that we have to consider, right? Looking at the timeline and the resources that we have, it's definitely something that we would keep in mind.
Yeah, there's also another proposal that talked about having 2% set aside for contributors, so we can discuss. There'll probably be a lot more discussion on how that 2% is used, whether that 2% should also have a section for something like the root cat system that Jupiter had. So lots more discussion over there. Yeah. Nice. And yeah, big shout out to Seb Monty for like all his videos for Meteora and Jupiter. Appreciate your support for the past like 1.5 years that we've been working together. Yeah. Another guy asked a question about Trump points. Made a lot of people who farm before that useless. What do you think, Zhen?
Trump point. I mean, there's something we need to look into, right? Because like I mentioned previously, it's also that we need to make sure that the points are rewarded fairly, right? So we definitely need to look at all these Trump points, Melania, Libra, all these cases, right? And make sure that we reward the points fairly, right? And we probably will exclude some cases, right, where they are caused by back actors or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one more thing to add is that like, because we hear a lot of community concerns that like, oh, there's all these pools that did so much volume, such as Trump pool and other launch pools. So the introduction of a separate allocation means that if you're just a normal liquidity provider, you're no longer fighting for that. You're no longer fighting with like the Trump token deployer team for like map points. So hopefully that solves our concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, Seb asked another question. It's like about bootcamp and stuff. So I think internally the team we discussed about introducing a fixed allocation because we wanted to also like set aside a flat amount of MET for people who went through bootcamp maybe like a few months ago or like supported DRM in the beta period when it was very new, stuff like that. So we're gonna have more discussions with the community over what particular groups of people should fall under this allocation, and we will do it as well. Yeah, for the fixed allocation.
Are there any incentives for people who want to build on top of Meteora? So the people who build tools, is it? Yeah. That could come under the 2% contributors or not, right? I believe.
Oh yeah, and sorry, Seb, if I answered a question. Yeah, I think we'll definitely have. I'm already working on I'm already working on a few ideas that will reward people that grow the pie. I think we will share more about them next week as well, or following weeks to come. But yeah, if there's no questions, we will proceed to the next slide. Please feel free to continue giving questions about this because we just have a lot more thinking to share.
Yeah, because I there are a lot of great suggestions. But I want to understand the high level context behind it. Right? Like what like for example, you mentioned about people who are building on top of Meteora, right? So those are actually important people who I think we need to consider, right? When actually consider whether they're contributors or whatnot. Or when you talk about never mind, we move on first. Yeah. But anyway, my point is that we need to understand the root reason why they're asking for this particular suggestions, right? And see how we can incorporate it in our proposals moving forward. Okay, cool. Let me touch upon this. I've been thinking about this, right? So I want to take a moment to talk about team allocation, right? Because it's important for long-term alignment, right? So our approach here is simple, right? We believe in playing the long game, right? And ensuring that incentives are aligned with the project success over many years, right? Not just the short term. So we are proposing a 20% allocation to the team, which is pretty standard for a project of this scale, I believe, right? And this isn't just about rewarding contributions, right? It's about keeping the core team motivated and focused on delivering over the long run, right? And the work doesn't stop at TG, right? Because it's a multi-year journey and we want the team allocation to reflect that. Okay. And another point I want to highlight is that we are also proposing a long vesting period of 6 years, right? Because in crypto, this is actually the longest, right? You'll see 6 years, right? And the goal here is really long-term alignment, right? So this structure ensures that the team's incentives are tied to the project's long-term growth, right? And not just what happens a few months after TG, right? So simply put, if we don't continue to build and deliver over years, we don't get rewarded either. Yeah. And the reason why I want to share about this because it ties into the next point. But before this, maybe you want to get any questions first? Yeah.
6 years. This guy told me 6 years. At first I was like, that's long. But now I'm like, okay, I'm in.
6 years, I think.
Yeah. 6 years is definitely the longest I've seen. That's so when you told me about 6 years, you know what was my first thought? My first thought was
What?
like, oh, our vest is longer than Mel's 2030 bonus. Yeah.
Well, that's the first thing you think of. Yes.
That's the first idea. I was like, Mel is like 5 years, ours is 6 years. And you've been building Meteora material for 3 years, 4 years, so it's 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Long-term game.
So
Long-term game. So I think
so
it's a little bit controversial to have such a long one, but this is just an initial proposal, right? Because I think long-term alignment is important. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Some concerns about other stuff. Yes, Seb, I'll answer a question at the end maybe, but let's move on with going through the next part first, which
Yep.
is M3. Yeah.
Okay, so we come to the M3 part, right? So let's talk about M3, right? So I know while mentioned many times that it wasn't really launched by our team, but many in our community actually supported it, right? Because of their belief in us. Okay, so I just want to upfront say that, right? So I don't say that we recognize that, right? And we really want to show our appreciation to those who stood by it, right? Even when things didn't really go as planned. Okay, so one of our initial thinking about this is that we want to actually set aside 2%, right, of our 20% allocation, right, to the M3 stakeholders, right, because we saw firsthand how much support M3 received from community, and we want to acknowledge and appreciate that, right? So yeah, so basically the second point is really to highlight that further, right? So because like I mentioned, it's a 6-year vesting schedule, right? So it means that the first team unlock which happens after 1 year, right? We are actually choosing to dedicate that first 2%, right, to M3 holders as a way to show appreciation, right? So yeah, so rather than keep this first unlock to ourselves, we decided to allocate the 2% as a show to recognize and appreciate those who supported it, right? And this, I mean, if you think of it in another way, right, it effectively means that for the first year, the team is working hard towards unlocking value, not for ourselves, right, but for the M3 community. Yeah. So probably pause here for a while. Yeah. As well.
Yeah, and just to note, whatever we do, the snapshot has been taken. Please do not buy, trade, do anything. We will have more discussions about how to distribute this. Yeah. Okay, I'm sure this is a part where everyone has a lot of questions, so please, we'll stop here for a while and please hit us with all of it.
Yes, please, welcome. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. Yeah.
I know a lot of people out there have had Meme 3 questions. Now's your chance, folks.
Yep, or feedback, suggestions, and yeah.
2% kind of thing. Correct. So
correct.
I'll let that answer.
Yeah, correct. 18%. So because first year we unlock around 3%, I think. 18 divided by 20 by 6, yeah. And out of that, 2% will go straight to the M3 distributed to M3 holders. Yeah. You mean does it include people who launch stuff on M3? So currently we are focusing, at least in the current thinking, is more on the M3 stakers, holders, as well as those who LP in the M3 pools. Yeah. So currently thinking it does not really include those who actually launch stuff on M3. You mean the platform, right? Yeah. No, not at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess most of the questions are on the snapshot date. What I can say is that we have taken a snapshot a few hours ago, and that's one snapshot. We can also carry a historical state of the chain, if necessary, to pull data from a few weeks ago and stuff like that. And it's up for discussion. I think one thing about the M3 thing is that there's a lot of different players. There's the M3 stakers, there's the M3 holders, liquidity providers, those who sold afterwards, those who sold or those who are still holding now. There's a lot of different stakeholders, and it's going to be a long process of discussing the community to see who should actually get it, and we're gonna take on that discussion with all of you together. Yeah. So we don't know right now exactly who will be eligible because it's up for discussion. We know that we have a snapshot from a few hours ago, so that if people buy M3 now to speculate on it, it wouldn't be included, and we can pull earlier snapshots if necessary. Yeah.
Yeah. So just take it as anything after the snapshot we will not consider, but there is the option for us to go backwards. Yeah. If we discuss and realize that okay, it's probably a better idea to take an earlier snapshot, we can look into that as well. Yeah. So we're not close to that option. Yeah, just saying.
Yeah, to me, I think that answers a lot of these questions here, because I mean, there's a lot of people who, it's like, okay, this is not going anywhere. I'm gonna sell for it. It's absolute zero and whatever. I think there was a lot of people. There's some people still hanging in there, but
yeah, like Otter yesterday mentioned he's still stick. he hasn't unstick since the day one. Yeah. What's the Meteora doing this? Okay, good question. So that's something we were still discussing. I mean, there are a few options, right? One, we can send it back, right? Or we can burn it. Yeah. But we got some feedback that sending it back might not be a good idea, right? So it might be better to just burn it, right? Because I think eventually we want to really just like remove M3 from the Meteora completely, right? And move forward.
Any more questions? Seb says it feels really terrible about M3. I agree. I feel really terrible about it as well. I think a lot of us, we know that the community supported it to support Meteora and the team, and we want to do something about it. Yeah.
And I want to also acknowledge. I apologize for not talking about it openly until now, right? Because for me, I wanted something really concrete. I did mention a few times in the post, right, that we are thinking of options, right? So that was a mistake on my part. I should have opened up conversations much earlier. But I wanted to make sure that we have a concrete plan and cover all bases before I actually share. But it's probably better if I just be more open about discussing this. So I'm the first to apologize on that. Yeah, it's on me. Yeah.
Okay. The Claude from Foxbean is asking about the integrators. I think right now, we know that there's an entire ecosystem of many different stakeholders. And I would classify integrators as a member of the ecosystem and another stakeholder, and we can talk about it more. But I can't confirm or whatever now, because we want it to be a discussion with the community. Yeah. But at least now we know that we have this pool of tokens. We are trying to put together this pool of tokens, and we're trying to put together this discussion on the stakeholders, and lots of conversations around it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just to round off things a bit, I think expect us to post more detailed long form like proposals on proposals of Meteora AG. We'll keep doing these town halls, keep doing these community calls, and we really want to discuss over the next month or so, right, Zhen? Yeah.
Yes. I think this is just the beginning, right? So I don't want this to be a one-off kind of conversation. And this is also to help us to slowly but surely form up some formalized and more official proposals, right, that we can share with the community. Yeah. But it will take so just seek patience for everybody, because this process might take a while, right, before we come up with something that I believe that truly fair for the community. Yeah.
Yeah, I think let's just pause here and ask us questions about anything and everything. To answer Seth Monty's earlier question about the circulating and token, like how much circulating supply will be at launch, I think we really have to see how the current proposals pay out before we know whether the token will be circulated, how much of token will be circulating at launch. But I think the preliminary look is that it's a bit higher than Juke, because the LP stimulus plan is 15%, and that's already like almost as much as all of what Juke was circulating at the start. So I'm not too concerned about high FDV, but if discussions change, then we will see. Yeah. And yeah, everyone please post any questions you have. I think Self Capital asks, can we still earn points? Yes, the Covenant Points program is still ongoing. So
Yep.
feel free to attend Heavy Metals Bootcamp this weekend. Zhen, be part of LP Army, provide liquidity. Yeah.
Oh, since we're on this topic of community calls or whatever, there will not be an office hours this Sunday. We're not going to have it this Sunday, and we may change the frequency of these things. That's up to us, but there won't be. It falls at the exact same time as boot camp. It's this Sunday, and I don't think we really have any updates to add between now and then. So don't expect a community call Sunday.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, HMC. Thanks a lot, Ferry. I think I've spoken to Ferry a few times about like trying to understand more what Meteora thinks, and I appreciate all your feedback as well. And if anyone wants to like directly DM me on any of my socials, I'm available. Okay. No more questions. We heard about super high bean step positions. How's it going? I think that's a discussion for the LP Army Discord. HMC or Mario or the mods, did we miss any questions or any major concerns that we should talk about? Maybe. Hey Mario.
Hey,
welcome.
So I think this question is regarding the dynamic positions. So I'm not sure who's qualified to answer that question, but I would also love to hear more about it. That's the big update that we're all looking forward to.
Okay, I mean, the question is about dynamic positions, is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, okay, so some quick updates. Yeah, so in general, the program to support like allowing a larger price range over more than 69 bins is ready. But the challenge is the migration part that the team still needs some time to figure out, right? Because we have quite a high TVL in the old pools, right? So to do a direct migration from one old position to new position is extremely risky, and we probably don't want to do that. So, but in order to still have a very seamless experience for users, we probably need to figure out a good option to that. Yeah, so probably take another week or so for us to really tie down the loose ends before we can actually release the updates. Yeah, but that's actually something that the team is focusing on in this phase, right? To actually get the dynamic positions ready, right, and deployed, so that you guys can actually benefit from that.
Are we also going to get more options for the 20 bin pool, more fee options? That's what we would also need, in conjunction with dynamic positions to really get that edge. Are we going to get 1%, 2% options for the 20 bin pools?
That I need to double check back whether this included in this rollout or not. Yeah.
Is that 20 bin step to be sure, Mario? Or is it
the 20 bin pools, because that's probably one of the best pool setups we have at the moment. 20 bin 0.2%. That's when meme coins age and kind of mature, when they are they've been up for a few days, that's the best performing pool, and we managed to undercut everyone with that setup. But we would love to migrate to those lower bin steps sooner, and to do that we would need higher fee, because the risk is way higher during the initial times, when the token launches. So having a 2% pool would be extremely useful for the 20 bin pool.
Got it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
There's something definitely working on, but we will update again to see whether we can include that as part of this rollout. Sorry, Soju, I'll cut you off.
No, I think I just find it so interesting that there's so many nuances that while we develop the team, we don't actually know how it works in action. It's like the division between the soldier on the ground and the military factory making the guns. So I'm very excited to dive deep with the LP Army, and I'll bring all the feedback to the team afterwards. It's very good. Thanks a lot for that, Mario. I think I'm looking forward to bootcamp.
Same here. I'm worried. I'm scared, but I will have to overcome my fear and do it.
we will
We'll
study
survive.
hard.
Yes. Study hard.
Study hard.
Yeah, I do.
I need
Okay,
to earn my take as LP Army also. Yeah.
I don't see much more questions, but I think one thing to know is that like these questions will always be here. We're gonna spend a few weeks diving into everything with everybody. Questions will come later. As we write out things more in detail. And this is the end for this call, but this isn't the end of the process and the road to Met and building the LP Army. So thanks everyone for being here, and maybe Zhen has some stuff to add.
No, but I just want to end off by saying I really appreciate everybody here, right? And as what Soju said, this is only a beginning, right? So we really want to see how we can continue the conversations, right? And continue to share your thoughts, questions in the channels, right? So we will keep a lookout of that, right? And take those into consideration as we plan out the next step, right? In terms of proposals, planning, for all these things. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow. 1 hour and 3 minutes community talk. Actually, no, 1 hour almost on the dot. Freaking amazing.
Yeah. Because you start 3 minutes late.
Yeah, I thought 3 minutes late. Thanks for being here, everybody. Excited.
Yep.
See you guys next time.
Yep. Take care.
Take care. Thank you, guys.
Bootcamp is about to begin. Rise up, it's time to log in. LP Army will teach you the way to be LP warrior starting this day. We live for the fees we make. Soon it is profits that you will take. The LP Army marches strong. The best in soul and now we sing our song. We live for the fees we make. Soon it is profits that you will take. The LP Army marches strong. The best in soul and now we sing our song. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic beats our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Thereupon we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Spot, could ask, use them all. Winning's the task, we heed the call. Bootcamp, join our ranks so tight. Listen to the goose gang and gain your might. We will print and we will earn. Once you gain as tokens burn, join the ranks of the brave and bold. Story of the LP Army told. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic beats our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Thereupon we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Rise. Take the course and earn your role. March with us and earn some soul. Dodge the rug and join the fight. We gain together LP Army might. Make your position and join the pool. Post your wings with Alex's tool. LP Army, we fight to win. Your journey is about